general manager.
Voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Delays on the service road of I-35 southbound at Riverside Drive are caused by a stalled vehicle blocking off the center lane. We're pretty slow on I-35 going northbound, making that change from Onion Creek Parkway over to William Cannon Drive, causing a 10-minute delay. But no delays this morning on Mopac going northbound from Davis over to Cesar Chavez. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
M20628. Clogged drain or sewer lines? Call Abacus. Pipe, slab, or yard leaks? Call Abacus. Water leaks, toilet problems, any plumbing repairs? Abacus can do it all. Now, get the 49 mainline special. Only $49. Clean out access required. Abacus. You can count on us.
Earl Campbell here for my good friends at Austin Shoe Hospital. Austin Shoe Hospital has been repairing my favorite boots and shoes for over 30 years. They are the best Western boot repair company in Texas and can repair any boot brand or style. Visit the master cobblers at Austin Shoe Hospital and they will bring all your shoes, boots, and bags back to life. If you can wear it, they can repair it. Oh, yes, and hook 'em horns.
Visit AustinShoeHospital.com.
Well, I'm 67 years old. I lost 71 pounds. That was a size 46 pants 2 years ago, and I've been taking it, and I'm a size 36 pants now.
Congratulations, Pat, on losing 71 pounds and 10 inches off your waistline. Now listen to Brian's results.
My sleeping is better. My joint pains are much better, and the weight loss is coming along. I'm about 13 to 14 pounds lighter. It has reduced my sugar cravings big time. Sugar cravings and reduced joint pains, and those two are big time.
Outstanding results, Brian. Guys, since 2004, men have chosen Andro 400 for one reason: results. Andro 400 can help you safely lose belly fat, reduce joint pain, gain energy, and boost your testosterone. We guarantee it. Start today and get free shipping on any order. Go to andro400.com for more true testimonials, before and after photos, and special discounts. Only available on andro400.com. andro400.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CSLB numbers are 837-312-881-317.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $500,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
Buying a new car might make you say,
I can't believe it.
Seriously, it's ours? Is this real life?
But what you really need to say is, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there to help you choose the coverage you need.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
It is tough to go outside these days. Hey, that's understandable given how hot it is. But there is definitely a way to beat the heat. A trip to Inner Space Caverns in Georgetown. Inner Space Caverns is a great place to take the family. You'd be amazed at all of the beautiful formations, large rooms, prehistoric animal bones, and all kinds of creations with a truly unique discovery story right here in the Austin area in the year-round temperature of a very comfortable 72 degrees. You can check out the super exciting Sabertooth Zip Ride or Pan for Gemstones. Take the Wild Cave Tour or the Hidden Passages Tour. And there's a great souvenir gift shop and newly remodeled restrooms. Get out of the house, but get out of the heat and get some fresh air underground. Inner Space Caverns, right off I-35 at exit 259 in Georgetown. That's Inner Space Caverns. For more details, check them out on the web at innerspacecaverns.com. Inner Space Caverns. Check it out. Your adventure awaits.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
She's back. Khloe Kardashian returns to On Purpose with Jay Shetty, and she's getting real about healing and self-love. Plus, Caroline Leavitt shares what it's like being the youngest White House press secretary in history on Post Run High. And Rob Lowe spills some of the funniest stories you'll hear with Chelsea Handler on the Dear Chelsea podcast.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
The Craig Way Show with the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Coming up in the next segment, we'll have our guy, Danny Davis of the Austin American Statesman, coming in to talk a little Texas athletics. Also, at the top of the hour, we will have the head coach of Texas baseball, Jim Frostnagel, previewing the Oklahoma series and recapping the last home series that they had in the regular season against Florida. But right now, I want to talk a little baseball. That's right, folks. As you know, the story was broke yesterday that one Pete Rose has been removed from the lifetime ban list. Now, in this situation, the Pete Rose gambling put him on the Hall of Fame ban list, lifetime ban from baseball, where he was not going to be able to be inducted. Now, we know Pete Rose is the all-time hit king. He has been in the story for such a long time, and a lot of people were wondering if he would ever get in. Pete Rose used to go to the Hall of Fame ceremony, but he would stay outside. He would have a place down the road where he would be there and he would sign autographs and people could be able to come and see him. He had a place in Las Vegas where he was signing autographs all the time. Matter of fact, I even went into the place that the sports memorabilia place that he would always sign autographs at. Got a chance to see him a long time ago. Man, I think it was 2011 was the last time I saw him.
That used to make them angry, though.
Yeah.
They used to be like, why are you doing this? You trying to slap us in the face? You know we already don't like you. You know we don't play with you.
And he didn't care. So
he didn't care. And that's why I think that's why they attacked him so unmercifully and would not fold and let him enter the Hall of Fame.
Well, I think he wouldn't fold because he would never admit that he did it. He would stand strong about, I didn't do it. But like most people, everyone is kind of at that point now that why you wait until right now? And Michael Wilbon of Pardon the Interruption actually talked about that as well.
Relatively new to us. I'm just numb to it. I find myself just not giving a damn. It's like Pete Rose is dead. He's dead. And Pete Rose, who was so outspoken, and a guy that you covered more than I did. I did really more in managing and retirement. Fascinating, often crude character who we always loved talking to. Always. And we can't even get a reaction from Pete Rose because once again, Pete Rose is dead. Shoeless Joe has been dead almost 75 years. I don't know how long Eddie Seacott, now I'm going back to the 1919 White Sox, because that sort of resonates with the kid from the South side of Chicago. But Tony, they're dead. What's the hot take that we're supposed to have about this now?
Yeah, exactly.
Why you say it like that?
Because it's the truth. It's the truth. It's like I personally wanted Pete Rose in for a very, very long time. And now that he has passed away, he's not going to be able to, if he does get voted in, which the writers still may say, I don't want to vote him in. He's just able to be on the list now. They may say we still don't want him in. But when you say you don't want him in, you start to look at what his career was. Take away that stuff that happened. He's the all-time major league hits leader with 4,256. We talk about how hard it is to get a base hit. We talk about how hard it is to put the ball in play. He leads the world in base hits.
You said lead the world.
The world in base hits. He's won 3 batting titles. He was an MVP. He has, if they go with the old school WAR numbers, where everybody's always talked about how good of his defense. He's 79.6 for his career, And it's more than Jeff Bagwell. It's more than Brooks Robinson. And it's more than Robin Yount.
Wow.
Those numbers are something that we cannot deny. Shoeless Joe Jackson, where it was a dead ball era, batted .408 in 1911, .356 for his career. Dude was amazing. So when you start to look at all of these names and now the eligibility part of it, it gives you something that people are going to debate. I think there was no debate before, though. Those guys deserve to be in the Hall of Fame on numbers alone.
Right.
Not about personal things and the way that they changed the game and the Black Sox scandal and obviously the betting scandal with Pete Rose. So yesterday, a lot of people were asking me, does this mean that Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and Alex Rodriguez and all these other guys, Roger Clemens?
Not the same.
It's not the same.
Don't do that. That's not fair comparison. Like Pete Rose, yeah, he's not without sin. But he didn't adjust his body to change things. He did stuff gambling. He apologized for it, admitted to it, and still they were like, whatever, we got you to admit it.
Right.
And I thought that was horrible too. Like if the whole point was for him to repent, then go with that. But they didn't do that.
Right.
And now here he is. They say it's a lifetime ban. Yes, he has passed away.
Yeah, he's passed away. He's not
So
here.
let him in.
But the other part of the story for the Barry Bonds and the Roger Clemens and all the other guys that are in this conversation, those guys are on the ballot. They have been able to be voted in or out. Like this isn't – Pete was never allowed to be voted upon. Those guys have been on the ballot. They have been able to be a part of the discussions. People go to battle for those guys, but it's not the same. Theirs is totally different situation because they are actually on the ballot. Now is the time for Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and all the other participants in the Black Sox scandals. They will now have their names be at least put on the list.
What's your call? What's your call?
With what?
I mean, I want your opinion. Like,
I know. What's my call on what? Pete Rose?
Should he be in now?
If we're going strictly baseball, yes, he should be in. But I'm disappointed that he won't be able to give us the speech. I'm disappointed that he won't be able. I mean, like he said, I'm kind of numb to the situation because it's like, in my eyes, Pete Rose has always been a Hall of Famer. He's just not in the halls of fame.
Right.
But he's been a Hall of Famer to me because I'm a student of the game. I know the game and what the numbers represent and how difficult it is for a person to get 4,256 hits in a career. You have to have longevity as well to be able to achieve that.
That is a lot.
It's a ton of hits. It's a ton of hits. So for me, you start looking at why Shoeless Joe Jackson's numbers, unbelievable numbers, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as well. But you put a stain on the game by betting on it. Now, whether Pete Rose says he bet on his team or not his team, okay, we'll figure that out. He's had his day. Shoeless Joe Jackson throwing the game. I mean, we talk about, where do you think we get point shaving from? Where do you think we get all these situations where we talk about them and like, man, that's real peculiar. That dude can't even shoot a layup. He's been missing layups every time. Why is that happening? There's a lot that goes into it. But for me and the discussion that is happening right now, I believe that he should be able to be into the Hall of Fame. Now, as I said, a lot of people are going to have a different thought process in that moment. So get over to AM 1300, The Zone on X, Twitter, and cast your vote. Now that the lifetime ban has been lifted for Rose, Jackson, and others, do you accept the ruling? As of right now, 75% of the voters say yes. 8.3 said no. 16.7 say too late. And nobody has said that they should have stayed banned. So we will see. But coming up next, we'll get Danny Davis' thoughts on this because Danny is a baseball guy. So he will give us his thoughts on that in all things Texas Longhorns. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Delays on the service road of I-35 southbound at Riverside Drive are caused by a stalled vehicle blocking off the center lane. We're pretty slow on I-35 going northbound, making that change from Onion Creek Parkway over to William Cannon Drive, causing a 10-minute delay. But no delays this morning on Mopac going northbound from Davis over to Cesar Chavez. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Graduation season is here and summertime's right behind it. Celebrate big with a new ride from Cover Ford and Hutto. Right now, $14,421 off of MSRP on a new 2024 Ford Expedition Limited. $12,346 off of MSRP on a new 2024 Ford Bronco Badlands. $10,138 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Ford F-150 Trimmer. See dealer for details. Folks choose Cover because they're family-owned, Texas proud, and trusted since 1909. CoverFordHutto.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Rocket.com is the new home for all things homeownership. Whether you're buying your first home, finding your next one, or unlocking home equity to fund one of your dreams, there's only one destination that has everything you need to get started all under one roof. Get started today at Rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Hey, Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are reigning. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right. Customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Ownwell. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ownwell.com/terms. Estimate based on your neighborhood average and individual results may vary.
When I saw how high my property tax bill was, I was shocked. We couldn't afford this, but I discovered Ownwell. Ownwell reduced my property taxes and saved me over $1,000.
Your property taxes aren't set in stone. They can be protested and they can be reduced. But instead of filing protests yourself and very possibly losing your appeal, Ownwell does it all for you. But hurry, protest deadlines end this week. Ownwell has reduced property taxes for hundreds of thousands of Texans and put money back in their pocket, and you can be one of them. And unlike other companies that take half of whatever you save, Ownwell charges just 25%. And that's only if you save.
Now I don't worry about my property taxes. Ownwell reduces it every year.
Sign up now, free. Don't pay unless you save. But hurry, protest deadlines end this week. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000. Text WIN to 64,000.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-970-8855. 800-970-8855. 800-970-8855.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
He's coming. Here he goes. Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The Mavericks won the NBA draft lottery for the first time in franchise history. Spurs will pick second. The Knicks rallied past the Celtics, who lost Jason Tatum due to a leg injury. Timberwolves beat the Warriors. Knicks and Timberwolves both lead 3-1. Astros late-game rally fell short, lose to the Royals in Houston. The Cowboys signed running back Jaden Blue to his 4-year rookie deal. I'm Rhonda Moss.
This is Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Cordell and Cordell.
Cordell and Cordell, Divorce and Family Law, 866-323-7529, 866-323-7529, 866-323-7529. Cordell and Cordell, a partner you can count on. CordellCordell.com.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. Hook 'em horns.
It's Wednesday, so we have our guy, Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman, joining us. You can follow him at _Danny Davis. And Danny, I wanted to, before we get into the Texas Longhorns and conversation about them, I wanted to ask the question, how do you feel about the Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson lifetime ban being lifted?
I mean, I think both of you, obviously, you grew up, a baseball fan and playing the sport, as did I. I'm sure a lot of people our age. I've always long kind of thought that Hall of Fame is kind of a joke. Pete Rose is the all-time hits king. Shoeless Joe Jackson obviously was a big player in his day. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, who are the two best players of my generation, best pitcher, best hitter, are not in the Hall of Fame. But someone like Jim Thome, who, no offense to Jim Thome, is. But I've always long thought that, the Baseball Hall of Fame is a museum. If you want to put an asterisk or put an explainer as to why, as to the ills and shortcomings of these men, you go ahead and do it. But these are all-time greats that have never been in. And I think they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. If the Hall of Fame is a museum that explains what baseball is, you should explain all of baseball, and not having the all-time hits king, not having Shoeless Joe Jackson, not having Barry Bonds, not having Roger Clemens in a museum about your sport is in my opinion, silly and pretentious way of going about business. So hopefully, Pete gets in at some point. Hopefully Shoeless Joe Jackson gets in, and hopefully, the baseball purists get over themselves and put Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. And because in my mind, you don't have a museum if you don't have, if you don't explain all of your past. And obviously those guys are huge parts of baseball's past, regardless of whether you think what they did was wrong or not.
I feel like, Danny, there's a lot of people that have had faults outside of whatever sport they're playing. And yeah, it affects nothing in the grander scheme of things with sports, but some of these guys are so petty. It seems like they just don't want to be associated because of the outside things. I don't think that's fair. What's your opinion on that?
I mean, look, what Pete Rose did was wrong. What Shoeless Joe Jackson, although there's a bit of a discussion whether or not he did or didn't do what he was accused of, but if he did do that, that's wrong. Say what you will about steroids. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation that we can have another time. I mean, sure, if you want to kick Pete Rose out of the game and not let him, manage or be associated with the game, I mean, that's fine. Take that away from him. But the fact of the matter is, he still is the all-time hits king. That nothing he did off the field, changes that. Nothing you could, Barry Bonds. Even if you want to say he was on steroids, what he did before he allegedly got on those steroids, that was still Hall of Fame worthy. And he played in an era where, a lot of other people who may not have gotten caught were on the juice. And baseball definitely kind of turned a blind eye, towards that stuff for a while because it was bringing in attention and people were making money off it. And Barry Bonds is not the only person to play in an era that was, may have been not pure, as we had this conversation between three black people who, would have been able to play baseball when the greatest players of all time, Babe Ruth and all those guys are playing. So I mean, I think baseball can be a little bit sanctimonious, and I think that's part of the problem. It's part of the problem with having writers, vote for the Hall of Fame is a lot of them kind of, you have these players who weren't in unanimously because, someone wants to ding Ken Griffey Jr. because Babe Ruth didn't get in unanimously, 50 years ago. I mean, the Hall of Fame has a lot of issues, and hopefully, this will start to correct some of them. But I mean, this is not the first baseball Hall of Fame controversy story we're gonna have.
No doubt about it. We're talking to Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman. You can reach him at _Danny Davis. And Danny, as always, we want to talk a little Texas baseball. We will have Coach Jim Schlossnagle at 8 a.m. today to kind of talk about this upcoming weekend, but I want to relive some of the past. What was it that you thought you saw from the Texas Longhorns that kind of made it tough for them? I saw 27 people being left on base as a bad sign for that to happen.
I think, take out Saturday. I mean, there's one inning on Saturday where that offense kind of came alive. The offense struggled pretty much all weekend. The pitching did not help. I think we're kind of running to the point of the season where I think Jim before the season when we were talking about Dylan Volantes and why don't you make him a starter, and Jim kind of pointed to, it's really hard for freshmen to start in the SEC, and had a bunch of stats to back that up. And, we were talking about Dylan Volantes, but that also applies to Jason Flores. And we kind of saw that on Sunday. We kind of saw that last week. They kind of just run into a wall trying to figure out, their pitching depth. And when Ruger is not on, like he has not been on the last couple of weeks, that makes it really hard. I mean, Luke Harrison's been very consistent throughout the season, but that's one arm. I mean, you need, 2, 3, 4 arms to kind of take you to the finish line, especially in the postseason. And Texas with Jared Spencer just hasn't found that. And we've given Max Wiener a lot of praise throughout the season. And now he's kind of his job and, find some pitching depth. And this offense also needs to get going. We've also praised Troy a lot over the years. And, these coaches are hardworking and very good at their jobs. But, the going's a little tough right now. And they've got to kind of, figure out a way to kind of get things going.
Yeah, and this weekend going into what's going on in Oklahoma, their twin brother back-to-back pitchers, Witherspoons. It's not going to be an easy test. What does Texas have to do? Obviously, they got to put together and string together some quality at-bats. But how do you see this weekend turning out for Texas as they travel to Norman?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out in a couple minutes. I think you're talking to Jim at 8. I think we're talking to him at 8:30. Maybe there'll be a Max Blue appearance this weekend. Yeah. I mean, that'll be helpful if I can get Max, get some at-bats out of Max and kind of get that bat back in their lineup. But they may be asking a little much to see him just completely boost the offense. But this team has got to get some timely hits. They've got to string together some offense. You can't be expecting this pitching staff in the state of 10 to be, shutting these teams out, or holding them to 1-2 runs every game. So his offense needs to get going, and they're going to need to take advantage of their scoring opportunities and, take care of business, because Oklahoma, even though Oklahoma has had some struggles, they're not going to give that SEC championship to Texas. So Texas has got to get going there and take it and get some offense going.
Danny, nobody likes to make excuses, but did you think that the flu bug that went through the team had anything to do with the subpar play over the last 2 series?
It didn't help, but I mean, Arkansas kicked Texas's butt. that wasn't the flu. Yeah. Maybe you can take, you can say it's Florida. I mean, they won the middle game, so I mean, obviously, it didn't impact them the entire series. So I mean, I'm sure it had some guys were not feeling their best, weren't at 100%, but this is college athletics. I mean, at this point in the season, whether it's the flu, whether it's injuries, whether it's, just wear and tear and being tired, I mean, no one's at 100%. You got to dig deep and you got to figure it out. You both are athletes who, performed at times when you weren't necessarily feeling your best, but got to dig deep and figure it out, because, the team across the diamond, probably there's a couple guys in their lineup who aren't 100% either, but they're out there and trying to figure it out. That's just kind of what it is at this point in any season.
Yeah, this is that time of year where, you got to be trending in the right direction, and hopefully for Texas, that starts tomorrow in Norman. As always, Danny, thank you, man, and love the insight on your thoughts on the Hall of Fame, man. I appreciate that, brother.
All right, see y'all later.
All right.
Take it easy, Danny.
Coming up next, we continue the conversations about the Dallas Stars. That's right. And the NFL has teams traveling how far? We'll talk about it right here on the morning kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show with Craig Way.
Tex Schramm, you'd hear him on with Brad Sham when we had the show and I was the producer for it, called Ask Tex Schramm. This was like 1987. The football Cardinals were moving to Arizona. Brad Sham is doing the show. And so he asked him, he said, well, does that mean also now there'll be a change that the Atlanta Falcons would move from the NFC West to the NFC East? The Texas response was, well, once you're on an airplane, what difference does it make?
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Some very slow speeds this morning on I-35 northbound trying to get into town between the 45 Southeast toll over to William Cannon Drive. If you're heading this direction, plan for 20 minutes to be added to your drive. And the slow speeds we're seeing on the service road of I-35 southbound Riverside Drive are due to a stalled vehicle blocking off the middle lane. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by CONCACAF Gold Cup. The CONCACAF Gold Cup is coming to Austin's Q2 Stadium Thursday, June 19th. Saudi Arabia versus United States. Sea Stars Christian Pulisic and Tyler Adams fight to reclaim Gold Cup glory. Get your tickets now at SeatGeek.com. That's SeatGeek.com.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
I want you to ask yourself right now, how am I actually doing? Because it's a question that we rarely ask ourselves. All of May is actually Mental Health Awareness Month, and on the psychology of your 20s, we are taking a vulnerable look at why mental health is so hard to talk about. Prepare for our conversations to go deep.
I spent the majority of my teenage years and my 20s just feeling absolutely terrified.
So this Mental Health Awareness Month, open the free iHeartRadio app, search the psychology of your 20s, and listen now.
You want to see basketball played the way it's supposed to be? Well, check out Ice Cube's Big Three all summer long. Fast, physical, and fun. Catch the best professional 3-on-3 players in the world live every weekend on CBS and Vice.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Oh, wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Summer's here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box fan? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
When it's time to get a new car, the best thing to do is call Apple Leasing. They can save you a lot of time. They know you're busy, you got a million things going on, and they can get you whatever you want, any maker, any model, with one phone call. You heard that right. Just call 346-9977. They will take your trade-in too. So whatever you're driving right now, you want to trade that in and get a new car that's under warranty, you can do that with Apple Leasing. Again, the phone number, it's 346-9977. 346-9977, or go to appleleasing.com. If you're one of those people that likes to drive the latest and greatest and be in a new car every 3 or 4 years,
Leasing is definitely the way for you to go. Call Apple Leasing. I've leased cars from them for over 20 years, and I highly recommend you do too. One call and you're done. 346-9977. Of course, you can check out their website as well. You can just go to appleleasing.com.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on the app.
It's the presets.
Super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio. Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horns. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. The Longhorns live here.
Coming up in the next segment, we will have Coach Jim Schlossnagle of the Texas Longhorns as they get ready to make that trip to Norman, Oklahoma for the final regular season series. We'll continue those conversations. But right now, we want to give you an opportunity to win a pair of tickets. That's right, folks. You get a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest October the 25th at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater. Today's word of the day is razor. Razor is the word of the day to win a pair of tickets by using that, the iHeart app, tapping that red microphone and leaving the word razor for a chance to win Alice Cooper and Judas Priest tickets. I wanted to talk about the NFL and 32 teams in the NFL. They will travel a combined 625,947 miles this season. We talked a lot about the international game yesterday and how I look at the jet lag, I look at the travel, and I'm like, this is too much for a lot of these guys. Mark, you mentioned it about the travel and how you get stiff. You got to get up. You got to move around. You got to get jet lagged. Well, you don't have to get it, but you get it.
Right.
And you try to adjust your body throughout that time. Listen to the team that will travel the most miles this season is the Los Angeles Chargers. They will travel 37,086 miles. The team that will travel the least amount of miles. Think about what I just said. 37,086 miles for the LA Chargers. The Rams are right behind them at 34,832. But the team that will travel the least amount of miles will be the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals will only travel 8,753 miles.
8,000?
8,000. Dallas Cowboys, they're in the middle. They're at 18,897. The Houston Texans are right there with the Cowboys, 18,982 miles. The Chargers and the Rams are on the left coast. The team on the right coast, Buffalo, they're only traveling 10,000 miles. That is crazy amount of travel when you sit back and you think about it.
Hardge, you have here speaking to a guy that has zero sympathy. zero sympathy for these guys. I traveled 281 days in a year away from home, going to Australia, going to China, going to Russia, going to the UK, Canada.
Is that all in the same calendar year?
In the same calendar year, we would do our international tour that was like 16 days in a row in the UK. And that was the worst part, because when you come back to America and you're jet lagged and you have to like be on US TV time, it's man, it's hard.
Yeah.
But every week, you're gone. You're flying from Thursday to Sunday, and or in some cases, if you work on Raw, then you travel Friday to Monday, and go home on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So all the guys and girls that wrestle, they look at football season, a 16-game or 17-game season, and then a Super Bowl another month. Like, that's child's play.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at all of this travel, and I'm just saying, wow, this is going to be an interesting year. So if I were a betting man, and I've been known to dabble from time to time.
With your cousin.
I'm looking at this travel schedule, and I'm believing I'm going to pick Cincinnati in a lot more games than I would L.A.
How many?
Any of the L.A. teams, as a matter of fact.
Think about how many miles baseball travels, because they have 100 and something odd games. They would have to be the next most traveled sporting franchise to pro wrestling.
Well, they're not having to travel internationally. They don't have to do that. The other part of it is a lot of times they're in the city for such a long time that it's they're on the road.
So they only fly there
and then they stay. It's not a flip. It's not a flip. And so they get to stay in some of these cities for quite a few times. And minor leagues, then you think about that. Like, they play 6-game series now in the minor leagues. Most of the time, if you're on the lower levels, you're on a bus. Everywhere that you go, you're not flying
Greyhound
charter.
miles.
Yeah, I don't know if they got a frequent bus ride miles. I don't know if you get that where you get an upgrade on your room for all the travel.
The only one that does that is Von Lane.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm talking about for these guys that they're not riding Von Lane.
They're not riding Von Lane. They riding the yellow dog.
They are not riding Von Lane. I know that. But the NFL schedule will be officially released. We'll break down tomorrow. We'll get a chance to break down the Texans, and we'll break down the Dallas Cowboys schedule. We'll play how many games will they win just by looking at it? Who will be their divisional champs and their foes? But I also look at, they did make the announcement that on Thanksgiving, the Kansas City Chiefs will be in Arlington taking on the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys versus the Chiefs on Thanksgiving is going to be, we're hopeful, must-see TV. By that time, we'll know exactly who is doing their thing and who is not. But, of course, I will be excited to watch it because the Cowboys and the Chiefs, that's great football regardless of who you like out of those two. Hour number 1 in the books. Hour number 2, we will start with the baseball coach of your Texas Longhorns as Coach Jim Schlossnagle joins the show. Coming up next right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
This is Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. Discover the true taste of Texas at Mom's Food, Smokehouse, and Delicatessen, where everything is handcrafted in-house, from the mustard to the bacon. Proudly featured in the inaugural Michelin Guide of Texas, they source the finest products from local producers. Visit us at 5811 Manor Road, Austin, Texas, or find them at your favorite farmer's market. Pre-order their barbecue today. Don't you keep the best delicatessen in Austin a secret. Tell them Mark Henry sent you.
Steel GMC in Round Rock. Hi, I'm Steve David, General Manager. Great deals are all we do here at Steel GMC. Our deal is upfront, honest, and a real deal. Not some overhyped web price that when you get there, vanishes like a 30-point lead. Come see us and get a real deal at Steel. Exit 256 in Round Rock, or see for yourself at steelgmcroundrock.com.
Shoppers first or shoppers last. Get a real deal from Steel.
We are professional grade.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, it's Covino and Rich. And whether you're heading to the office, kicking back to watch the game, or enjoying a night on the town, Travis Matthew has you covered. They create versatile apparel designed to make you look and feel your best, wherever the day takes you.
From performance-driven styles to everyday essentials for both men and women, Travis Matthew bridges the gap between style and comfort. Ready to elevate your everyday? Visit TravisMatthew.com and get 20% off your first order when you sign up for email. That's TravisMatthew.com.
Football fans, the countdown is on. The rookies are ready. The matchups are heating up, and it's time to plan your game day. TickPick has you covered with no hidden fees and the lowest price guarantee. So whether you're heading to a rivalry game or just want a weekend experience, you'll pay less and get more. TickPick gives you all-in-one pricing and the lowest price guarantee. They're so confident, they back it up with their best price guarantee. Visit TickPick.com and score your seats before the best matchups are gone. $10 off your NFL order with code FS10 on the TickPick app.
What's the best place to reach new customers for your business? Wherever they are. And that's exactly where you can be with iHeartMedia. We talk to our listeners everywhere, from the car to the gym to the kitchen. Your next customer is listening. And not only can we get your message to your audience, we can also show you how it's working in real time. That goes for broad brand messaging and targeted hyperlocal influencer campaigns alike. Start growing your business today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hey, Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are reigning. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right. Customers in Texas saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horde. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff.
It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Hordes. 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300 The Zone. We talked NBA as Indy sends the Cleveland Cavaliers packing. We've got OKC ready to finish off the Nuggets. We talked to Danny Davis of the Austin American-Statesman, and we also brought up the fact that the Dallas Stars beat Winnipeg 3-1. But right now, we are joined by the head baseball coach of the University of Texas, Coach Jim Schlossnagle, as they get ready to hit the road and go to Norman. Texas finished its home season with a 26-5 mark, and they are now 40-10 on the regular season and 20-7 in the SEC. Coach, how are you doing? And those numbers sound pretty good, don't they?
Yeah. Good morning. Thanks for having me on. They sound good. They sound great. I mean, there aren't very many years where you have 20 wins going into the last weekend, or most teams are fighting to stay at or above 500 and make a regional, but we'll take it. It's just the last 2 weeks haven't been what we wanted, and we've been working hard all week to flip that around this week.
Coach, how's the team doing right now? I know y'all had a rash of the cruds go through you. I know what that feels like. How's everybody doing?
Well, as of yesterday, things can change. I'm just getting to the ballpark now. But as of yesterday, guys the guys we had the flu run through the team, and the guys who were sick lost some weight, and I think they've gotten that back, and hopefully we'll got a chance maybe to get maybe an injured guy back or two this weekend. We'll see how they feel at practice tonight.
Coach, one of the biggest things that have been going on is not getting timely hits. And I know how important that is. In the beginning of the season, it seems like you were scoring most of your runs with that 2-out knock. Late in the season is coming by a little bit harder. What do you attribute that to? Is it the better pitch selection, or just those teams have scouted you well enough to understand what's the strengths and the weaknesses?
Well, I mean, they're all different, but for the most part, it's a lot of bad luck relative to the game of baseball. Mm-hmm. I think when you look at the Texas A&M games, there's those 3 games. We got the timely hits. They were all 1-run ball games, and A&M had to both tying and go ahead run on base to end the 9th inning all 3 games. So. Some of it's that, there are times where guys will press a little bit because they feel like, they have to do this, especially if we're not scoring a ton of runs. But at the end of the day, there's no baseball person that I've ever met has ever been able to tell me how to best practice that. We put them in those situations in practice, but at the end of the day, you just have to go put together a good at bat and understand that the pressure's on the pitcher. The pressure's not on you. And because you can hammer a ball and be out, or you can take a brutal swing and be safe. And so you just have to put together a good at bat, make him, make that guy throw you a good pitch. And if not, pass it on to your teammate.
We're talking to the head baseball.
That's all I can say.
We're talking to the head baseball coach of the Texas Longhorns, Coach Jim Schlossnagle, as they get ready to make their trip to Norman, Oklahoma for the final regular season matchups and series of the season. Then we'll get into SEC tournament play. And, Coach, at the beginning of the season, you made the comment that you would take a 3rd seed in a regional in Anchorage, Alaska. And now your team is 4 seed. Just to get into the party is most important. Now your team is sitting at 20-7 in SEC play. The magic number has always been right at that 14-15 win mark. Now that you've exceeded that, obviously you have more on your plate. So going into this weekend facing a rival, what is the rotation going to be, and how is your team being focused?
We haven't decided on the rotation. I'm pretty sure Luke's going to throw the 3rd game. Want to wait and see how one particular pitcher feels today before we make a choice. I feel good about Ruger pitching, but we also want to try and kind of set some things up, or at least take a look at some things before we get to NCAA tournament play. So, right. But we're going up there to win ball games. We need to play well. Oklahoma had 3 close games, I think, against Kentucky. We know how good Kentucky is. We're going to be facing, for maybe the best pitcher in the conference, in the one Witherspoon guy, and then his brother pitches in the 3rd game, and he runs it up 96, 97 miles an hour. So people in Austin around Texas baseball know Skip Johnson and what a great coach he is, great pitching coach, great all-around coach. And they have a very unique offense that is going to be a challenge for us as well. So it's just, another week in the SEC.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, because you talked about some teams are trying to get back to 500, and that plays a part into it. Oklahoma is sitting at 13-14 in the conference play. And you talked about the Witherspoon brothers. I was fortunate enough to call a couple of games with those guys early this year. And you're right. They will both touch 98, 99 miles per hour. But the main thing is you got to be able to get strikes. This past weekend, you had senior weekend. How special was that for the parents? And obviously you wanted to win the series, but then there were some guys that played their last regular season home games on the 40 acres.
Yeah, it was very special group of people, not just to the program or this year's team, but to me personally. everybody from our equipment managers that are just the most selfless humans that you ever get to be around every day, to obviously guys like Kimball and Luke, who have been here for a while and they've won, but they've also been through a lot of adversity, and just to see those guys get to be celebrated on the field is always awesome. There's a few of them that have potentially a year of eligibility left that we'd like to get back. But they're, just awesome people, man. And, we, as I've said before, we want to continue to raise the floor and the ceiling of the talent level in this program. But we're not going to you can't get better people than those kids. You just can't. They don't make them like that very often. So credit to their parents and families and high school coaches.
Coach, with a year like you've had this year, I know we're still in this year, but I would be, not doing my job if I didn't think about, what's up and coming. Does this affect recruiting for you for next year to have a successful season like y'all have had thus far, and will still a lot to go?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think, anytime you have positive things happening on the field and you see guys develop and getting better here, whether it be a transfer that comes in to get better, whether it be a guy like a Luke Harrison who had a, career 10-something ERA, I think, and now he's potentially, all SEC pitcher, or incoming players like Valanis and Rodriguez and Jonah. So I think people pay attention to Texas. They watch how the players get better, winning, and then certainly everything in Austin, University of Texas has to offer. So definitely can't hurt. But we have a lot of work to do. We're going to be, depending on what guys on our team want to do in the draft, and the transfer portal and all the high school recruiting is going to be super big for us, and getting through the major league draft. That's the biggest challenge for us, is holding on to our best players.
No doubt. Coach, before we let you go, I'll be remiss if I didn't ask you about the story that kind of taken over college baseball Friday night. Was it Friday night? Yeah, Friday night. Our guy, Jonah Williams, got a little hyped at the plate. And I've always told people, if you just watch it in a capsule, you think of it one way. But if you've been watching all season long, you see that this is a young man that is very intense at the plate, focused on himself, not thinking, not trying to show up anybody that's involved. For those that don't know, he is just that way. What was your takeaway from everybody in the dust up, so to speak, of the situation with Jonah Williams?
Well, first of all, I'm so literally oblivious to what's going on social media, because I have so many things blocked.
Right. Smart man.
That and there are some social medias I don't even have, or somebody else runs it for me. So I didn't know anything was going on beyond the game until my son texted me and said, Jonah was getting hit up or beat up or whatever on social media. People, perception versus reality. I mean, there literally isn't a better teammate than Jonah Williams. He is about one single thing: winning. End of story. He wants to win. It doesn't matter if we're losing 9-1, we're winning 9-1. It's tied. He's so into winning, and what you see there is just a youthful confidence and exuberance. He's not trying to show anybody up. And Mike, baseball has unwritten rules, and some of those are valid, and some of them are pretty darn dumb. Yeah. And so Jonah's going to be just fine. He'll be able to channel that energy continually the rest of the season, and I can't wait to see the guy play on a football field, man. Because knowing what I know about his greatness as an athlete, but also as a human, and he's so intelligent. I can't wait to see how that falls out on the field over there at DKR.
No doubt about it. Thank you, Coach, for taking the time this morning. We made an adjustment, and I apologize to you in person. I'll apologize right now about last week. That's my man right there, Coach Jim Schlossnagle. Best of luck this weekend. Go get him, and as always, hook him.
I was wondering what happened.
You got
Coach.
it. Great. Well, I just know that my goal is to win one game this weekend, so he'll talk to me because I know if we don't win one, he's not calling.
Oh, my man. There he is right there. Coach Jim
Right,
Sloss. See you. Coming up next, we're going to talk recruiting. That's right, basketball recruiting with my guy, Blue Zertuche of the Gasso. Coming up next, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show, weekdays at 2.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Win. That's win. Enter it now.
AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Checking out the drive this morning on Mopac southbound. Things are pretty slow from Shoreline Drive over to Loop 360 right now, causing about an 8 to 10 minute add to your morning commute. And rush hour speeds over on I-35 northbound, about a 25-minute add to the drive from the 45 Southeast toll up to William Cannon Drive. I'm Jason Fossling with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Bosch. With the Bosch 18-volt Bulldog rotary hammer, you can conquer your construction needs, and you can powerfully break through concrete. Get the Bosch 18-volt Bulldog rotary hammer. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
Hi, this is Tom McKay with Audiovisual Consultations. Today's home electronics can be a bit daunting. My company has spent the last 36 years making sure they are not. For those of you who have not experienced our services yet, we'd like to invite you to give us a try for all your home electronics needs. We carry all the major brands of televisions and stereo equipment at prices you can't find in stores. And we come to you. There's no need to leave your home to find great pricing and incomparable service. No traffic, inexperienced sales geeks, or pushy showroom tactics. We believe in having some fun and dreaming big. You have a dream for your home entertainment? Let us know. We can make it come true. And we are always there to help after the job is done. We cultivate clients for a lifetime by treating everyone like their family. No, not those family members. I'm talking about the ones you actually like. So relax, hug your kids, make love to your wife, and smile. Then, when you have a moment, give us a call at 255-8678. That's 512-255-8678. Or online at avconsultations.com.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, retirement, maybe even kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you really need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We're committed to helping protect your personal interests and the life you've built. Don't let divorce take more than it has to. Talk to us today.
Offices in Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Austin area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, principal partner. CordellCordell.com.
Spring has sprung and it's full tilt boogie time at GiveMeTheVin.com. America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Retirement statements just hit mailboxes, and for many, the shock is real. Some investors lost 20% or more in just the first quarter. If you're close to retirement, that's more than a dip. It's a danger. But here's what most advisors won't tell you. Gold was up over 30% during the same time. That's a 60% swing. And in retirement, that kind of gap can change everything. So compare your Q1 statement to gold's performance. Then call Noble Gold Investments. Noble Gold specializes in helping people protect what they've earned with real assets like gold and silver. If you're tired of watching your nest egg shrink, it may be time for a change. And right now, when you open a qualified account, you'll receive a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. Compare and call 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. Or visit NobleGoldInvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Texas Longhorns.
Great stuff by Coach Jim Schlossnagle, giving me a hard time about our phone call last week that was not made. But we're hopeful we get a chance to talk to him again next week. But right now, I want to talk basketball and basketball recruiting. And what better way to start that off than going up to the Metroplex and talking to my guy, Blue Zertuche. And you can follow him at Gasso Blue as we get ready for the NCAA live period. Blue, number one, thank you for joining us this morning on AM 1300 The Zone. And number two, kind of explain what the live period is when in basketball terms.
Hey, fellas, thanks for having me on this morning. So the live period, it's changed over the last few years. You used to have two open periods. Well, you can call them open period, live periods. It's just where the Division I coaches are able to go out and evaluate at tournaments. I mean, right now they haven't been out on the road. The last time that they were able to go watch a player was a couple of weeks back. Before the NCAA went to a dead period where coaches are able to still talk to kids in the portal, but they're not able to get out and go to the campuses and visit the kids on campus of their high schools. So now they get to go out, evaluate them throughout the entire country. 2 years ago, the landscape changed because they used to have two open periods in the last week of April. Now they switched it where you get one in May, in the middle of May, and a lot of things kind of factor into that live period. So as the calendar changed, so has the circumstances. College coaches are still getting players on campus that are in the portal to come visit. They're setting up for their own graduations. They're on campus with their players. Family members are graduating, vacations are being set. And so even though with that landscape and that time changing, also what has changed is probably the amount of college coaches that go out to evaluate this time of the year.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you guys over at Great American Shootout have been doing. The Gasso has been around for 34 years, and you've been a part of it since 2004, doing the recruiting, you being a recruiting analyst and event coordinator. But you also have been able to put out rankings. You've been able to see a lot of players, and you kind of understand what the landscape is looking for at each level.
Right. And so, it's different at each level. Because you still have, like I said, the portal is weighing heavy on everybody's shoulders. There's several college coaches that I've talked to just over the past couple of weeks that they're done with their roster for 2025-26 season, but there's still those. I just got off the phone with one person right now that they still need 5. So it just really depends how much research you've done so far with the class of 2026. And I think that's something also is that it's the class of 2026 that's getting recruited. Obviously, when you go to these evaluations, when these college coaches go out to this live period event, but also one of the things that we have here in the state of Texas is the TABC showcase, which comes June 20. I think this year it's June 20th through 22nd. So last year, I'm jumping to this because this is important for when it comes to Texas kids and what to expect this live period of May 16th or 18th. Well, we have learned that the TABC showcase They have over 500 teams that came last year. This year, they're expecting over 500 high school teams to come, and it's high school teams only. So what happens is that these colleges that come into the state of Texas, that come into Dallas to go evaluate the players, what they're doing is that they're basically making they're checking on the players that they want to evaluate. They're making a list of other kids that they want to see. So they take this, they take what they've learned from June 20th to 22nd, which they have done in the past, and then they start setting their July open period, their July live schedule. And so that goes back to May 16th to 18th, that where you won't see as many coaches out as you will in June and also in July.
Yeah, that's so interesting to me, Blue, because make sure you follow him at Gasso Blue, as he can help you understand what all these recruiting calendars are all about. The one question that a lot of people continue to ask is, which level is right for me? You know, obviously everybody is all about the D1 level. Everybody thinks that they're all D1, but there's some good schools that are out there that may not be D1, but again, the transfer portal is always going to be in play. And I think a lot of people miss that nowadays because they believe if they don't start at D1, that they can't make it to D1.
Well, interesting enough, talking to Division II head coaches over the past couple of years, they realize that they're a little bit of a farm system. They go in and get some top level high school kids that have been overlooked by whether it's low major, mid major, Division I programs. They're taking them into Division II, trying to win right away, and these kids are then able to move on because there's many Division II coaches that understand, hey, I could have a limited window with certain players, and they're able to go get some really good players to get to take to their Division II program and help continue what they have accomplished. Like West Texas A&M is one of the top programs in the country, along with Dallas Baptist and St. Edwards, who are all Division II. I mean, I just named 3 top level Division II programs here in the state of Texas. And with those 3, they're getting some of the best players into their program, and they're able to either keep them but they also understand, hey, that there's a chance for those players to move on after a year or two, which we have seen over the last couple of years. But it's also the mentality of the Division II head coach going, hey, you know what? If we can win really quickly, if we can continue building on what we have and getting to that next level with this kid and they move on, I'm okay with that as long as they came in and contributed.
What's going on, man? Mark Henry here. With the COVID years, extra years, and all of that stuff going away, and now you're faced with doing things kind of more of a normal standpoint. How is that going to affect the landscape of the recruiting now going forward?
Yeah. Well, there's a little bit of a wrench that was thrown into that very thought, because 2025 was the year that the COVID years were gone. There might have been a couple of guys that had lingered because of injury, or they got an extra year, medical redshirt year, what have you. But when the courts ruled for the junior college players that they were getting an extra year, that they were getting 1 year back. I'm sure you have talked about that. I think it started with the quarterback at Vanderbilt, Pavia.
Yep.
He was the leader in that, as those listeners that have kept up know. And so that threw a little bit of a wrench in all of this, because we were looking for a bigger spike in high school players getting Division I offers, and also even at the Division II level. But since that ruling came, it has kind of kept the status quo on the amount of players that are signing at the Division II and Division I level, because you get to stay older. Now you get a junior college kid that might have been 23, 24 years old for 1 more year. And so that has kind of threw that curveball into the recruitment. So now we're looking at this summer, legislation is supposed to meet. The NCAA is supposed to meet to come down with the ruling of how many years a kid will get back by going to a couple years of JUCO, and then once they step into the NCAA world of sports, they still need to figure out how that's going to work. And so we're still a little bit in limbo here of like how teams are going to attack the high school section of their recruitment. And so I will add that there was this prior to COVID, we're averaging 80, right around 80 to 85 Division I. That was Division I signees, and now after the pandemic and the transfer portal came in, you're looking at about 60.
Wow, that is so crazy. Man. Before we let you go, how many teams do you have coming into the Gasso this weekend? Most of the time, y'all are in multiple cities. You have different gyms that you guys are in, different divisions. How many teams are coming in this weekend?
244. 244, and that's you always kind of go into this part of the season optimistic, but you also want to make sure that you have enough to cover everything. And I tell you what, over the past 2 weeks, it exploded from 180 2 weeks ago to 244, and then our big one in July. That's a 4-day tournament from July 10th through the 13th. We're looking at over 300 teams coming in, maybe pushing about 325. So it's exciting. It's a lot of work. And we're only a couple of days away, and there's still, we're still pounding the pavement here working.
Hardge and I, we got a little bit of eligibility left.
Well, he already know my eligibility's gone. He already knows that. He knew that. He knows. I've been knowing Blue for a long time. So, hey, man, I appreciate you breaking that down, because a lot of folks still don't truly understand how the basketball landscape has changed. Around here, we talk a lot of football, but understanding the basketball landscape is something that's big.
Appreciate
man.
that,
so
Blue.
I appreciate you, Blue, and I'll see you this weekend.
I appreciate y'all having me on.
No problem.
All right, I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Coming up next, we got the world's strongest man bringing you his world's strongest take right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
About a 20-minute slowdown through some stop-and-go speeds on I-35 northbound between the 45 Southeast toll up to William Cannon Drive. And a reminder for ongoing construction work, the X ramp is blocked off I-35 southbound off to Woodland Avenue, and the entrance ramp is blocked off Mopac southbound at Stack. I'm Jason Fossler with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Crispy chicken nuggets are back at Taco Bell. All white meat chicken, coated in tortilla chip breading, and paired with unique dipping sauces. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Hardball Hardge.
And this is the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
And we're here to talk to you about MyPlates.com.
Tell them about it, Mike.
Mark, when you're on the road and looking at the vehicles, what's the first thing you see?
Well, I'm usually a nice car, but the plates, baby.
At MyPlates.com, you can create a plate that shows exactly who you are.
Like the one I'm thinking about, the world's strongest man. Had to let them know.
Come on, you can get colors, styles, slogans. MyPlates lets you flex your Texas pride your way.
Big truck, big attitude, and it's better to have a plate to match.
Hit up MyPlates.com today and put in the promo code THEZONE. That's The Zone, all one word, for up to $55 in savings. And make your ride look as good as you do.
Or even better, MyPlace.com.
That's the way to go. And tell them Hardball Hardge
and Mark Henry
sent you.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $500,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
A heat advisory for your Wednesday with an extreme heat warning beginning this afternoon. A high of 103 for your Wednesday. Tonight's low 72. Thursday's high 100.
This report is sponsored by Cordell and Cordell.
Cordell and Cordell. Divorce and Family Law. CordellCordell.com. 866-323-7529. 866-323-7529. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Alt 2K. A commercial-free look back to alternative from the 2000s. With Foo Fighters, Weezer, Linkin Park, Green Day, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Alt 2K, and make it your next preset.
iHeartRadio.
1300 The Zone is your home for the Round Rock Express.
Great stuff from Coach Schlossman. Great stuff from Blue Verduce as he broke down the entire gamut of recruiting. And of course, you heard the B drops. I can only mean one thing and one thing only. World's Strongest Man and WWE Hall of Famer. Mark Henry gives you his World's Strongest Man. Take it away, big fella.
Hardge. You know what time it is? It's time for the World's Strongest Take by the World's Strongest Man. Marcus. Back then, they didn't know me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. The biggest discussion for us has been the whole Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson thing. But once again, because of basketball and because of where we are, we have to go there. We have to. I mean, and it starts with what happened with the Boston Celtics losing Jason Tatum. The implications of the whole thing is where the tire meets the road. Jason Tatum was distraught. And it wasn't pain. It was realization while he was crying. Letting his team down. Or feeling like he's letting his team down. Because he knew, oh, something serious just happened. anybody that I know that's ever had an Achilles injury, they said, man, I thought somebody kicked me or, like it didn't hurt like the pain. It was more like a shock. I couldn't move my foot. My foot is just there. That's what it felt like. And I was like, wow. And that's where Jason was. He realized right away, I'm not going to be able to help my team, and my team need me. And Brown is gimpy as well. He's not 100%. But who is at this point in the year? But the reason that I bring this up is because of where the Boston Celtics are as a team. They are cap hit at $500 million a year. I'm going to say that again. $500 million every year for the next 2 years. Next year, there will be no Jason Tatum. He'll have surgery probably today or this weekend.
He already had it. He
already had it?
Yeah, he had it right after the game.
So he had the surgery. He's going to be out for over a calendar year. He won't play next season. Al Horford is 75 years old. Okay, I'm exaggerating. Porzingis looks the way he's played this season, 70 years old. Okay, I'm exaggerating. Holiday disappeared this year. And with guards in the NBA, that's how it is. You fall off a cliff. The big guys, they can gradually get older at their positions because it don't require them to use the brakes. The first thing you lose is your brakes. You don't lose your speed, your strength, your ability to shoot. The ability to stop and stay in front of somebody, move those puppies, as they say. That's the thing that Holiday lost it in 1 year. Last year he was awesome, right? Am I wrong? This year, what is he gonna be like next year? So you have three integral pieces in Boston's development that are gonna be gone. That leaves Brown, Pritchard, and just a couple of young guys to fend off what they're going to do next year. Still cap hit. They may lose about $70 million from people leaving. But that's still, you can't go out and get a big-time free agent. There's not going to be enough money. You're going to have to do really well in the draft, Hardge. My take is that next season, Boston Celtics fall off a cliff. They win 35 games. What say you?
Man, you are dramatic. They're not going to win 35 games. They'll still win.
They'll win 30 games.
They'll still make the playoffs. They'll still be in the conversation.
I will take all of that. I'm not a gambling man.
All right.
But the Boston Celtics, if they win 40 games, it'll be a miracle.
All right. So we're going to, Marcus.
Write it down, Marcus.
May 14th.
Text it, email it, fax it.
8:40 a.m. Mike and Mark have a dinner bet that Boston wins more than 40 games
anywhere in the city.
Man,
under
$300
bill.
Yeah, but
it's got to be under.
It's under 200 bill. Yeah, like that. You just get a sliver of something. We're not even like that.
See, he's already accepted the loss.
No, I have not. I'm trying to do you a favor.
Don't do me no favors. I'm going to win.
So I just think that understood where you are with your thought process, but the realization is this team is not that bad.
Okay, you're going to rely on Porzingis if he comes back, and you're going to see a double team on Brown. Brown is going to get treated
Derek
like
White is still
a
there.
wet paper
Pritchard's
sack.
still there. They're still going to be able to score. And I told you before, I'm going to tell you again, Their record is 8-2 this season without Tatum. So let's not just automatically
That's
just
not
put him
next
out.
season. That's this season.
I understand that, but we shall see. So we got the tape mark, right? We'll come back, close out the show, send you to Dan Patrick. The NFL will be releasing its NFL schedule tonight. And we will talk about it right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
As the weather heats up, the action on the diamond gets even hotter. Here's the 0-1.
Swung on the ball, hit well, out toward right, and you can say goodnight to it.
Tune into Longhorn Baseball all season long.
The stretch in the payoff pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. Got him on the slider, and the Longhorns with back-to-back strikeouts.
From the road to the dish. This is Longhorn Baseball on 1300 The Zone.
Bonus bucks. Bonus bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here
on 1300 The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
About a 20-minute slowdown through some stop-and-go speeds on I-35 northbound between the 45 Southeast toll up to William Cannon Drive. And a reminder for ongoing construction work, the exit ramp is blocked off I-35 southbound off to Woodland Avenue, and the entrance ramp is blocked off Mopac southbound at Steck. I'm Jason Fossey with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rocket. Rocket.com is the new home for all things home ownership. Whether you're buying your first home, finding your next one, or unlocking home equity to fund one of your dreams, there's only one destination that has everything you need to get started, all under one roof. Get started today at Rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Shop simple. It doesn't get any easier. You're looking for a new Ford. You don't have time to spend hours at the dealership. So Riata Ford in Manor has made it simple. Pick yours at RiataFord.com. We can bring it to you for a home test drive. Once you determine it's perfect, you can arrange financing, value your trade, and sign all your paperwork digitally. Then simply tell us where and when you want to take delivery. Leif Johnson's Riata Ford in Manor has made buying a new Ford simple.
I want you to ask yourself right now, how am I actually doing? Because it's a question that we rarely ask ourselves. All of May is actually Mental Health Awareness Month, and on the Psychology of Your 20s, we are taking a vulnerable look at why mental health is so hard to talk about. Prepare for our conversations to go deep.
I spent the majority of my teenage years and my 20s just feeling absolutely terrified.
So this Mental Health Awareness Month, open the free iHeartRadio app, search the Psychology of Your 20s, and listen now.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Hey Austin, this is Cameron Parker with big news. 2024 savings are reigning. Customers who switch from Geico, Allstate, and State Farm to Fred Loya Insurance saved an average of $2,300 a year. That's right, customers at Jackson saved an average of $2,300 a year when they switch to Fred Loya Insurance. That's almost $200 a month. Wow. Don't wait. Make 2025 a great year by calling Fred Loya Insurance. Call today, 1-800-444-4040. That's 1-800-444-4040. Or visit fredloya.com. If you don't call, you don't save. Individual savings may vary.
Listen to what Dave Ryan says about Andro 400.
Andro 400, I really love it. It's amazing to me that I feel so good. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy to walk, energy to play sports. Everything is starting to work again, just like I'm 25. My wife is happy. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man. I'm taking this stuff to the grave with me.
Men, have you lost energy and gained belly fat? Are you feeling stressed out? Fight back with Andro 400, the safe, natural, and inexpensive way to increase your testosterone. For over a decade, Andro 400 has helped men lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel 20 years younger. Go to andro400.com, andro400.com, or call 888-400-0435, 888-400-0435.
If you're in the market for a wood fence for your home or business, Viking Fence is the right choice for you. Viking Fence has been in business for over 50 years and takes pride in being the most reliable fence company in Central Texas. Viking Fence does gorgeous work, from simple privacy fences to custom projects. Their quality is unmatched. Viking is the only fence company with their own facility where they custom cut red cedar, the most durable and attractive of fence materials, and offer 3 grades of fence pickets, one for every budget. Compare their lumber against the big box stores. And there is no comparison on quality and price. So whether Viking installs your fence or you're doing it yourself, Viking Fence will ensure your satisfaction. Excellent work, great service, and an honest reputation. Call Viking Fence today at 837-6411 for a free estimate or visit their wood fence galleries at vikingfence.com. When you think fence, think Viking.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app. There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio. A little time, a lot of savings. It's the tequila sale at Specs.
Back to Hardge and Henry in the morning kickoff on 1300 The Zone.
What an unbelievable show that we have had today. I want to thank Danny Davis of the Austin American Statesman. You can follow him at _Danny Davis as we break down all the news about Pete Rose, Joe Jackson, and of course, Texas baseball. Shout out to Coach Jim Schlossnagle as they get ready to hit the road to go to Oklahoma. We normally would have him on Thursdays, but because they have a game tomorrow, I wanted to have a conversation with him today and get that out there as well. I also want to give a shout out to my guy, Blue Zertuche, as he came on from Great American Sports, Great American Shootout, and talked a lot about recruiting on the basketball scene. And of course, Mark Henry with his world's strongest take. Also want to give a shout out to DraftKings. Pick 6, the crown is yours. They have been a great sponsor. And if you would love us to endorse your product and help you get seen or heard on this air, all you got to do is hit us up on our social medias at the Mark Henry, at Hardball Hardge. And of course, you can always do it and hit up the iHeartRadio app for all the latest and the greatest. Also wanted to point out that the Dallas Stars, on a hat trick by Mikael Granlund, had his first career hat trick last night as the Dallas Stars defeated the top-seeded Jets to take a 3-1 series lead. They are putting the pressure on the number 1 seed, and it looks like they are going to move on to the semifinals. Mark, tonight, big news. The NFL schedule will be dropped for every team across the NFL. We talked about the mileage. We talked about a couple of games that we already know is going to take place. We talked about the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Thanksgiving night is going to be a big-time matchup, as always, whenever the Cowboys and the Eagles get together, Cowboys and the Chiefs get together. And, of course, just every game that the Cowboys are going to be featured in, everybody's going to be talking trash about it. News came out today that the Super Bowl rematch between the Eagles and the Chiefs are set for the second week in Kansas City, and that game will be played at 3:25 Central Time on Fox. As you know, that matchup is going to be just as highly anticipated as all of the other matchups that they had. But we will play the game. We will play the game tomorrow of what the record will be for each of those teams, the Cowboys and the Houston Texans, because the Texans are a team that a lot of folks are excited about, but none are more excited than Troy Aikman about his Dallas Cowboys. He and Joe Buck talked about who is their Super Bowl matchup.
And blessed. We got 10 seconds left. Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
I'm going to say Buffalo finally wins it.
Oh,
Cowboys.
Come
on. Come on, Stray.
That's over there right now.
You know better than that. Come on, Troy.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks, Robin.
And putting up with that guy over there.
Troy Aikman doing super homer things as expected. I appreciate Troy for going out there on that limb. The only thing is Troy doesn't even have to talk about it anymore because guess what? He's already a Cowboys Super Bowl winner, man. How excited are you about that?
Listen, man, I'm on the fence right now.
Listen, man.
I got one toe in the pool.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm not feeling it. The water's cold.
Yeah.
Water's cold, man. I'm not going to get off the bandwagon completely.
Man, you've already jumped on. Man, you are like a yo-yo right now. You either on or you off. You either on or you off.
But I told you, I
do,
told you my heart says go Cowboys.
Yeah.
My heart is not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl.
True that.
My heart is saying that they're going to be better than they were last year. My heart says they'll make the playoffs, but they'll be bounced in the first round. Like it's nothing spectacular about my feeling.
So now you have the Cowboys making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Why the change of heart, big fella?
A more diversified offense.
You think that's going to be it?
Yeah. They got. I still want, a left tackle. That's it. That's all I ask. I'm not asking for nothing else. I think Jaden Blue is going to pay dividends. I think that, having a true number 2 wide receiver is going to pay dividends. Getting some help on the defensive line. They added 3 guys already, and then they added 2 more big super heavyweights in the draft. They added another pass rusher that you have to account for. I think that in the middle of the season, or the 7th, 8th game, Agent Zero will be back and 100%, and he's going to add to the defense. They got the best kicker in the game. Like they should go to the playoffs.
My man didn't talk himself into it. I appreciate that, Mark Henry. I appreciate that.
Why are you smiling so hard?
Because you've been jumping off. You've been trying to fire everybody. You've been trying to change the way the culture is. Now you're coming back. You spent some time. You sat back.
You
and
notice
watched.
how quiet it is right now with the Cowboys? That's what I like.
That's what you like?
I like it being quiet.
They're not done yet.
Crypt Keeper, shut up and give me a left tackle.
He's on vacation right now. That's why you're not being able to see the Crypt Keeper. So we'll see what ends up happening. I want to thank Mark Henry. I want to thank Marcus. And I want to thank you, the people. Big show tomorrow as well as we get ready to head towards the weekend. We will preview Texas baseball. We'll also talk about this NFL release of the schedule and so much more. And just remember this, folks. Don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Make sure you tune in to Craig Way this afternoon, starting at 2 o'clock, right here on AM 1300, The Zone. Peace.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's